Announcing also that the director of this band is Professor Jack Snyder. A look from the Goodyear blimp again. And there they go, double time. A map of the state of Nebraska. They brought 8,100 people down here, all the way from the frozen north, and they're really roaring it up right now. The music by Nebraska. There you see the map of the state of Nebraska. In a few moments, we're scheduled to see the face of a longhorn steer in the middle because Nebraska is sometimes called the beef state. From the Goodyear blimp, looking straight down on the formation. As we see the longhorn steer, but we see him upside down at the moment, see his horns sticking out there towards you. There's the Goodyear blimp. Home in the range. Played under the beautiful skies of southern Florida by a band of Cornhuskers from way up north. There you see it. There's the longhorn steer. Nebraska, of course, was a pioneer state, and now we're scheduled to see a covered wagon. Look at that crowd. Not an empty seat anywhere in this house. So there's your covered wagon. A good look at it from overhead. There's the oyster. This boat is in colors of aqua and purple, kind of an iridescent greenish yellow. Now coming out are great numbers of pearl in ring setting on the end of high poles being carried by members of the many bands here in the Orange Bowl. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Almost 1,000 musicians on the field. And there was a helicopter going under you as you looked from the blimp. And now King Orange is expected to set sail looking for pearls from the other end of the stadium here very shortly. Those are all pearl-colored balloons set as rings that these pretty girls are carrying. The music, of course, a string of pearls, and there it is. pearls forming the world's largest necklace. Just joined us, again the reminder that we're at halftime in the Orange Bowl in Miami. The temperature about 70 degrees, a beautiful afternoon, and Nebraska leading Auburn by 13-0 in a very hard-fought football game.
Plays of the first half here with Nebraska leading Auburn 13-0. And of course, one of the very big plays of the ball game came very early. The second play from scrimmage. Nebraska had the ball, and they're being quarterbacked by Dennis Claridge. Now watch him come up, and here's a play where Claridge goes 68 yards.
See the motion this way, and he goes opposite to it. I caught Auburn flat-footed there.
Now that's 27, Paul, chasing him edge, and there's the stiff arm. He knocks Edge away. Claridge is a big, strong boy. With a stiff arm, he jolted him down to keep the thing bumped out of bounds. 68 yards for a touchdown for Nebraska in the first 2 minutes of the game. And they nearly broke another long touchdown on a punt return by this very dangerous little punt returner named Solich, S-O-L-I-C-H, who's a threat anytime he gets his hands on the ball. Now in punt formation here is Kilgore, the leading punter. Number 18 there is Hahn in this videotape rerun, and Solich. Now the question is here, he stepped out of bounds, but let's watch it now. Here he goes.
Also, there's some very fine and vicious blocking by Nebraska.
Well, they say he stepped out of bounds as he comes up the sideline. He raced 68 yards on that one for the what looked like a touchdown, but it was called out of bounds and they brought it back.
Bearing in mind, of course, that the officials are right there, and all he has to do is nick that chalk with his foot, and he is out of bounds. It might well have been.
That's right, Paul, and the officials were right on it. Everybody else were all sitting high. Now we're going to show you another amazing play. In fact, one of the... I think probably one of the most courageous. This is in slow motion, Paul. Watch this pass completion.
This is one of the wildest things, and just legalized this year. There's Seidel. Now, he will end up the receiver after handing it off. Watch Rose apparently knock down, get rid of this ball.
There he is. Look at Rose throw while almost on the ground and complete the pass to Jimmy Seidel in slow motion. And he nearly threw that ball on his back. Auburn with a great effort there. It's 13-0. The question now is, Auburn 4 times has pulled games out of the fire. Can they come back and do it against this big, strong Nebraska team? I think we're going to have a very interesting second half. And in just a minute, we'll be set for the start of the second half of the 30th annual Orange Bowl Football Classic. Auburn is kicking off. Franklin Fuller boots it. A short one taken by Tony Jeter. Fumble. Fumble on the sideline. Howard Simpson, number 84, in the Auburn uniform. There's Jeter, who, a sophomore, has probably been the outstanding player in the field in the first half. Nebraska's ball now in the Nebraska 34, as we'll start the second half of play. The statistics in the first half showed Nebraska was 6 first downs rushing to Auburn's 1. Nebraska had 165 yards rushing to just 48 for Auburn. Willie Ross has the ball, and he is hit. Willie Ross from Helena, Arkansas, went a couple of yards, stopped by Howard Simpson, number 84. Put the ball on the Nebraska 36. Make it 2nd down and 8. Another tip-off is Nebraska ran 26 rushing plays to 15 for Auburn. Claridge to Bob Hahn. We have a penalty marker down. A penalty, and let's go down and check the penalty.
About 6, 2nd down, and about 13.
Penalty against Nebraska. Illegal position or procedure. Puts the ball on the Nebraska 32. They have a 2nd down and 12.
Well, now let's see if Claridge does go to the passing game down here because he does have long yardage to go, although it is only second down. He's been quite successful with his passing in the first half, as you've seen.
Auburn has the advantage of the breeze here in the third period. Here's Claridge fading under pressure. And a fired-up Auburn team now. Driving in there for Auburn, 72, is Jack Thornton from Washington, Georgia. That ball is going to be spotted now on the 23-yard line.
I think one of the things that sprung Thornton in there is the fact they had a red dog maneuver on, and the blockers were used up on the linebackers trying to claw their way in there. Let him open. They were anticipating the pass as well as we.
Nebraska scurrying back. Rose is going to be dropping back as a safety. Third down for Nebraska. Those are the Nebraska cheerleaders. A draw play off to Rudy Johnson. A hard-hitting Nebraska fullback. Brings it out to the Nebraska 28. Brought down by number 11, Bill Cody, and number 27, Billy Edge. And now Nebraska is in a fourth down situation, and they'll be kicking against a strong wind. Fourth down for Nebraska and 16. Claridge will be the punter. Single safety will be George Rose, number 44, the right halfback. Auburn might have a chance for some good field position now. Kick's all right. It takes a Nebraska bounce. There'll be no run back. And it'll be Auburn's ball, first down on the Auburn 33-yard line. That was a 39-yard kick to scrimmage with no return. Auburn's ball, first down on the Auburn 33. Total first downs, Nebraska 7, Auburn 4 in the first half. 161 yards rushing for Nebraska, 25 for Auburn. Those are net. 47 Auburn passing yards to 21 for Nebraska. 5 out of 10 for Auburn, 2 out of 6 for Nebraska. Jimmy Seidel. They're out of the eye. Seidel with the fake, and the pass is nearly picked off there by Bob Hahn, number 18. Pass was intended for number 30, Larry Rawson, the Auburn fullback.
I think so far Nebraska has Seidel playing Nebraska's game. He is not a drop-back passer. You just saw him do that there. He's a rollout passer. He does it all the time. As we've mentioned, he's done it more than 50% of the time for their offense. And if he continues to play that way, he probably will have difficulty. But I think you'll see him go back to that rollout.
Second down, 10. Rose in motion. Seidel on a sprint out. Seidel's at the 35. He's at the 40. And the big, strong quarterback pulls his way up to his 42-yard line where Maynard Smith, number 22, brings him down. Very close to a first down.
And that is more down their alley. That's his type of play right there.
That's the type of play that allowed him to gain 1,006 yards rushing, more than any quarterback on the ground has ever gained in the history of American college football. Third down and a half yard to go for Auburn. The sneak by Seidel, and he's got the first down as he rolls it out to his own 47.
Kurt, I think it's pretty obvious this is a different Auburn ball club than we saw in the first half. I think Coach Shook Jordan had a few words to say to him out there. That defensive line played real well, and now they're making some holes on offense. They're moving the ball.
4 first downs for Auburn, 7 for Nebraska. Nebraska's leading 13-0. Ooh, boy, there was a hit on number 30, Larry Rawson, by that Jeter again, number 84, and what a cat he's been today. Jeter has been a phenomenal sophomore in for Nebraska. No gain. Auburn's ball on their 47, second down, 10. 10 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Roll out by Seidel. Threw it away. He had a lot of rush on him. Larry Rawson was the intended receiver, and Lloyd Boss, number 71, and Bruce Smith, number 43, had rushed through. There's Bobby Brown, the All-American guard of Nebraska, who weighs 269 pounds, from Cleveland, Ohio. As it happens sometimes in bowl games, a sophomore or A player who was not an All-American will catch fire and be the outstanding player of a bowl game. And today, Jeter, Callahan, and some of these youngsters have come through. Third down now, 10 to go. A completion. Howard Simpson caught it, number 84. And a good reception there by Simpson from Marietta, Georgia. And it is a first down, Auburn.
I was waiting for Auburn to get some kind of a little spectacular play there, waiting for that cheer to come, because Auburn, the people of Auburn, have broken an all-time record here by selling more than 14,000 tickets to this ball game. The previous record by a visiting school was 12,000.
Now Nebraska territory. The pitch out to Fredrickson, and it'll still be Auburn's ball. Number 20, Tucker Fredrickson, took the pitch out. Auburn's had trouble on their timing today in their offense. They'll spot it down on the Nebraska 41. They actually gained a yard on the fumble. Second down and 9 to go. Look at the size of that Bobby Brown. He wears out 5 football shoes a year, number 64. Title's quick toss, incomplete and intercepted by Dick Callahan. Callahan, the defensive specialist, has really been a standout for Nebraska in the secondary. Callahan from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Nebraska takes over with a first down now on the Nebraska 31-yard line. Nebraska leading in the game 13-0. 9 minutes, 48 seconds to play in the third period. Claridge, the quarterback. Gives it off to Willie Ross. And Ross powers his way to his 33, 34-yard line.
Ross makes his way to the 33.
Howard Simpson, Steve Osborne, and on the stop, it's on the 34-yard line in Nebraska. Second down and 7. Put it on the 33 after the untangle. They have Ross, Bruce Smith on in the backfield. Claridge looking, throws a little quickie to Hahn. And Hahn's out of bounds on the Nebraska 42 or 43-yard line. Number 18, Bob Hahn from Beatrice, Nebraska.
That's the play we were talking about in the second quarter, Kurt, when he brings Jeter in from the outside to bring that defensive man in with him, and he runs Hahn to the outside. And it's always strange that a quarterback never forgets a successful play. He found Hahn open the first time, and he goes right back to that in a passing situation.
Nebraska now has 8 first downs. Auburn has 4. Nebraska's ball on their 42-yard line. Those are the rooters of Nebraska University from Lincoln, Nebraska. Rudy Johnson on a straight-ahead quickie to the 44-yard line in Nebraska. Johnson, the boy with a calcium deposit. Look at him limp into the huddle. But he explodes off that starting block when they snap that ball. Very quick starter.
Bob Devaney says he only limps coming back to the huddle. He never limps going forward.
Second down, 8. Fake draw play. Claridge throws a swing pattern out to Ross. Ross to the 44, 45-yard line, and with all that running around, they gained a yard. They could have lost 5 or 6 yards. Billy Edge, number 27, defensive halfback. Larry Rawson, number 30, the linebacker, made the stop for Auburn. Nebraska has stopped Auburn fairly effectively. But Auburn, since the middle of the first quarter, has been doing a good job on Nebraska, too. And I think you've noticed Auburn's good pursuit. They're very quick on their lateral pursuit. Third down and 8. Here's the pitch to Hahn. He's out in the open and then pulled down. He was nearly away. Bringing him down with George Rose, number 44. Well, they have a penalty marker down and is holding against Nebraska. Well, the long gain is wiped out, and the ball will be brought back.
Well, now it looks like some of the snake bite that had Auburn in the first half is catching up with Nebraska, because every time they come up with a big one, something happens.
15-yard penalty.
The penalty sets Nebraska back to 37.
Puts the ball on the Nebraska 37. There's the signal. Holding.
Auburn has a timeout.
Nebraska 13-0. Nebraska. 8 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the third quarter of the Orange Bowl game. Two high-ranking teams that each lost only one game by a narrow margin. Nebraska, the champs of the Big 8 Conference, coming up now. 3rd and 15 on their own 37. Ross in motion. Claridge throwing. And it is no good to Jeter, number 84, who tried to make the one-handed stab. And now Nebraska will be in a punt formation against the wind. 4th and 15. There's Jeter. If he plays the next 2 years the way he has today, he'll be one of the all-time end greats for Nebraska. George Rose will go back as a single safety for Auburn. Once again, Auburn is stiffened up. Outside that long run by Claridge early in the first quarter, Auburn has stopped Nebraska, but Nebraska has smothered Auburn. Dennis Claridge in punt formation. Rose goes down on the 29-yard line of Auburn. No contact there. He called a fair catch. Just barely touched him.
I didn't think the official would call that, because there's no apparent attempt to really hit the receiver there. No, he attempted to evade him. That's all right.
All right, Paul, Auburn's ball on the Auburn 29.
72,647.
And All-American Jimmy Seidel leads his squad out now to see if he can get them going. There they are in their I formation. Rose on the wing. Seidel throwing and completes it. Hey, look at Wade go at the 50, 45. What a scrap with that Bucky. Well, there were some very noticeable things about that play. First of all, that was a knuckleball that wobbled to him, and he caught it. And I can see why Shug Jordan says that this is one of the most underrated players on the team, Paul, this Bucky Wade, the way he battled on that one.
He did, and you know, the thing to notice, too, is he gave ground right away because he saw one of his blockers coming up from the rear. This is the mark of a good ball carrier.
Auburn on the Nebraska 43, first down. That's number 30, the fullback, Larry Rawson, driving inside the Nebraska 40. To the Nebraska 38, where Mike Kennedy hit him. And Bobby Brown, number 64. Second down, 5 to go for Auburn on the Nebraska 38. And Auburn has dominated here in the third quarter. Into the shifty eye. Rose in motion. The pitch out to the halfback, Rose. Rose goes down on the 34-yard line in Nebraska. He was tripped up by Dave Tyson and Lloyd Boss, number 71. Or Maynard Smith was the man that really brought him down. Now Auburn is very close to a first down. Third and a long yard to go. Jimmy Seidel dives for the first down. Quarterback Seidel gets it to Auburn. John Durbin stopped him, and this is the deepest penetration. The official attendance today, 72,647. The Orange Bowl is jammed.
Not a bad house.
I'll say. Auburn on the Nebraska 31 and a half. Let's put it on the 31. Here's the sprint out by Seidel. 30, 25, and Seidel's inside the 20. Auburn has its deepest penetration. John Durbin stopped him. Jimmy Seidel, second leading ground gainer in the nation as a junior this year, and the total offense leader of the Southeast Conference, number 12, quite a basketball player in high school.
He's also the only quarterback that has ever done that, Kurt, leading in total offense.
Auburn's now on the Nebraska 19. Nebraska's leading. Auburn trying to strike here and get back. Driving straight ahead goes Mickey Sutton from Mobile, Alabama. And Auburn right now is outplaying Nebraska up front. As you can see, they're now getting Seidel wide, something they couldn't do in the first half, and they're starting to open some holes in the Nebraska line. It's on the Nebraska 13-yard line. Second down, 4 to go. Incidentally, they had an argument over the game ball. They're using one game ball as used by the Southeast Conference for Auburn. When Nebraska takes over, they use a different type of football by a different manufacturer. Now they're in a shotgun or a short punt. Here's Seidel. Being pursued by Barnes. Seidel's at the 10, the 5, and Seidel scores. Stopped cold in the first half and just driven 71 yards for a touchdown in 6 plays. Sparked by All-American Jimmy Seidel. Seidel is holding, and Woody Woodall, who has kicked 28 straight points for an all-time Auburn record the last 2 years, including it. And there is number 29 for him to roll. And Auburn now is in a good position. 13-7, Nebraska leading. A fighting Auburn team with only 7 seniors on the entire squad has taken the play away here in the third quarter. It's coming to Solich on the 15. Solich at the 30. Oh, this guy's dangerous. He can really go. He broke his leg this summer and missed some early games, but he is one of those game busters.
You know, he's so quick, too, that he can hesitate and pick a spot that he's going to run to and still not be caught from behind because he picks up so fast once he makes up his mind.
Nebraska ball. There's Solich. Great little punt and kickoff returner, Nebraska. 13-7, Nebraska leading. For the first time, Auburn has punctured their defense. Auburn has just marked 71 yards for a score. To Rudy Johnson, and you can see the momentum that the Auburn team has gathered here in the third quarter. They're gang tackling, their lateral pursuit, Paul.
They are playing a terrific defensive game compared to the first half, but don't overlook this fact too, Kurt. Although it looked like he was stopped pretty well, he picked up almost 4 yards on that play. We've still got that great power in that Nebraska offensive line.
Second down, 7 to go for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Dennis Claridge takes away at the 45 and goes to the 47. Dennis Claridge, the outstanding senior quarterback of the University of Nebraska, who has been the leading ground gainer today, although Jimmy Seidel now is starting to move up on him here in the second half. On the 47-yard line in Nebraska, third down and 3. And we've got a tight one going here in the Orange Bowl. 13-7, Nebraska ahead. Short of the 50-yard line. Nebraska playing its possession football. Johnson stopped right on the 50. About a foot short. Now with Nebraska head, Paul, and a foot to go on fourth down.
He is only inches short, Kurt, and considering that they went for the same situation in the first quarter, I rather imagine he will go for it now. He had enough confidence that that big line of his could move it. Let's see.
I think Claridge, number 14, there's the ball right on the 50. The officials have asked for a timeout. They want to measure just to be sure. Now it's fourth down, a foot to go for Nebraska on the 50-yard line.
You can bet if he does line up there to go for it, there's going to be about a 31-man line on defense up there to stop it.
They're going for it. And Claridge gets the yard and a half. First down for Nebraska. Nebraska's on the Auburn 49-yard line.
Both quarterbacks have picked up important first downs with a quarterback sneak, as you saw there. And one thing they both did well, they didn't make that jump over the line where so frequently they're stopped cold. They waited till the hole went open and then cut to either side.
Each team now has 9 first downs. Trying to get out wide. A fumble out of bounds by Bob Hahn, number 18. This Hahn is hard to bring down, you've noticed throughout the game. That he's been hit behind the line of scrimmage, but they can't seem to knock him off his feet. He was a high school hurdling champ and ran the high hurdles in 14.6. Still holds the record in the state of Nebraska. He's coming out right now, Bob Hahn. He'll be back next year with the Cornhuskers.
He had a poor year. He only had a 7.4 average for carry.
Second down, 12 to go for Nebraska. This is Kent McLuhan, and McLuhan is pulled down on the Auburn 49. And now Nebraska has a 3rd and 10. That was Billy Edge and Mickey Sutton in on the tackle. Number 82 also Jim Ingle. It's 13-7, and time has run out. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here at the Orange Bowl. With the score, Nebraska 13, Auburn 7. And we're going down to the 4th quarter. This is Kurt Gowdy with Paul Crispin and Jim McKay. The score 13-7 in favor of Nebraska. I wonder if she's been watching the game.
Only about 30 yards from it, Kurt.
It is Nebraska's ball, 3rd down and 10. Willie Ross in motion. Dennis Claridge is stopped on the Auburn 49 by Bill Cody, number 11. Flag down.
Okay. Okay, Captain. Where's the captain? All right, it'll be 1st down here in about 11, or 3rd down in about 25. 4th and left. All right, 4th down. Leave it there.
The clipping penalty is declined by Auburn, which puts Nebraska in a 4th down situation now. 4th and 10. 13-7 the score. Nebraska leading. They dominated the first half. Auburn has stood out in the second half. Nebraska scored its touchdown in the second play from scrimmage in the game, and Auburn has just scored on a 13-yard touchdown run by All-American Jimmy Seidel. George Rose is a safety man. Dennis Claridge will be in punt formation. He'll boot from about his 40. Out of bounds along the 10-yard line. Auburn's ball, 1st down.
You notice who was the first man down there? Number 64.
Bobby Brown, the All-American 262-pound guard who can move. The 269, there he is. He wears 14.5 shoes, and he wore out 5 pairs this year, and also broke 3 helmets. He has flat feet, they say, and he really goes through those football shoes. Now, there's Bob Devaney talking to his quarterback, Dennis Claridge. Devaney had a great record at Wyoming for 5 years and has won 18 and lost 3 at Nebraska in 2 years. Now they're into that short punt or shotgun with Seidel deep. Seidel throws the pass, and I think he just threw it. He was nearly tackled in the end zone by Larry Tomlinson, number 83. He's trying to throw it out to Larry Rosson, and he was nearly thrown for a safety.
We've got to see, we've seen the best end play by Nebraska here that we've seen in many years in this bowl, Kurt. Both of these ends are playing terrific ball games.
2nd down, 10 to go for Auburn on their 10-yard line. There's the Nebraska Cornhusker team. And Auburn, the last time they had the ball, drove 71 yards for a touchdown. A sneak by Jimmy Seidel. Seidel gets it out to the 15-yard line where he was tackled by John Kirby from David City, Nebraska. One of the co-captains today. 3rd down, 5 to go for Auburn. In the Cotton Bowl, Texas leading Navy 28-0 in the 3rd quarter. A great defensive Texas club. Here's There's the rollout by Seidel. He's got two blockers in front of him. He's at the 20 to 25, and Jimmy Seidel is out of bounds, but he's got a first down, and what's more, gets that ball out of that dangerous territory and puts Auburn now in good field position. Auburn, a first down on the Auburn 31. Unofficially on first down, Auburn now has 10, Nebraska 9, and Auburn has picked up 7 first downs in the second half to 3 for Nebraska. Show you how Auburn has dominated here in the second half. Quick pass to Simpson, and Simpson is stopped at the 41. Big Howard Simpson on a little look-in from Jimmy Seidel. Dick Callahan, number 80, came up to make the stop for Nebraska. Second down, Paul, and about a foot or two to go.
Well, he probably will run for it here, unlike the pros, but I was going to mention that look-in continues to be open in the middle, while Nebraska is still covering the outside, and rightfully so.
And they give the ball off to the fullback, Larry Rawson, number 30. And Rawson has another Auburn first down. Auburn now has marched the ball from the 10-yard line out to the 44. The last time they had it, they went 71 yards on a sustained drive. And there's the Auburn rooting section. 10 first downs to Auburn, 9 for Nebraska. There's Seidel splitting his end out. Seidel on a keeper play. And the 200-pound junior quarterback goes to the Auburn 48-yard line. Lyle Sittler, number 52, the Nebraska center, made the stop, along with Bobby Brown, the All-American guard, number 64. That play didn't look like much, but it gained 5 yards. Nebraska leading 13-7, fourth quarter. 12 and a half minutes to play. There goes Rawson, fighting his way to the Nebraska 47. Rawson from Pensacola, Florida. Brought down by Bobby Brown, number 64. Brown, by the way, is an excellent student. He's a biology major at Nebraska. Only once in the first half did Auburn get into Nebraska territory, but it's been a different story here in the second half. Third down and 2 to go. Seidel trying to get outside. 50. Seidel is out of bounds on the Nebraska 47. Dick Callahan again made a beautiful tackle along with Lloyd Voss, number 71. This Callahan, a defensive specialist, the second string right in offensively, but first string all the way on defense.
And bear in mind, too, when Kurt Gowdy says Lloyd Voss, that's 6'2 and a half, 245 pounds. He's a tackle, yet he managed to turn that play in, be out there in time. He can really move. There goes Seidel.
Seidel's out, and the punter comes in, John Kilgore. Now, Auburn has fourth down and a long yard to go in their punt formation. Dropping back is Frank Solich for Nebraska, single safety. Here's the kick against the wind. And it is down on the Nebraska 27, where Nebraska will take over. So Auburn was a yard short of keeping that sustained drive going. They moved out from their pin to the Nebraska 47 and then decided to punt on fourth down.
You suppose Auburn learned something. They didn't want to kick that ball anywhere. So he's almost gone every time he gets that ball.
That's right. All-American Jimmy Seidel taking a breather now while his Auburn mates are on defense. And Nebraska puts the ball in play on the Nebraska 27. Dennis Claridge trying to throw the quick pass, incomplete. Penalty marker drop. Offside against Auburn. Auburn is offside.
That's a good break for Nebraska there now, because with an incomplete pass there, it should be 2nd and 10. Now they're up to 1st and 5 when they accept this penalty.
For late tuners in, Dennis Claridge, the Nebraska quarterback, on a keeper, ran 68 yards for a touchdown. The second play from scrimmage in the game. Nebraska added 2 field goals by Dave Tyson and were leading 13-0. But then a fired up Auburn team came out in the third quarter, stopped Nebraska, and then rolled 71 yards for a touchdown. Seidel sprinting 13 score. And right now here in the fourth quarter, Nebraska's on their 32. That's Rudy Johnson, and he's dropped by Billy Edge, number 27. Ball's on the 34-yard line of Nebraska.
And as he ran that, you probably saw Willie Ross come into your picture at the end, who was trailing him. And believe it or not, they'll be communicating about this in the huddle. And eventually, that same type of play, you may see a lateral off it at the end to Willie Ross, because he was open for that very thing then.
Second down, 3 to go for Nebraska on their own 34. Ross in motion, sneaked by Claridge. Oh, he picked up some yardage there as he gets a first down for Nebraska. Ball on the Nebraska 40-yard line. Bill Cody made the tackle for the Auburn University Tigers. Here's our Goodyear blimp shot at the nearly 73,000 jammed into the famous Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. 70-degree temperature. Claridge stopped on his 41-yard line. Second down, 9 coming for Nebraska. Bill Van Dyke, number 60, the right guard, stopped Claridge.
He's accomplishing 2 things with that type of play. One is he's picking up good yardage for quarterback sneaks. And bear in mind also, that clock continues to run now. It's just starting to talk a little bit. We're getting into the fourth quarter, and it's beginning to get a little important now.
A little over 9 minutes to go, Paul. Nebraska had 13-7. Ross in motion. Johnson. We had an interesting play there. Number 65, Osborne, tackled Claridge without the ball. Osborne had a tremendous charge that time as he shot through.
That always indicates one thing, Kurt. Great faking by a quarterback. If you can accomplish that and get a defensive line to tackle you instead of the ball carrier, you've done your faking job well in handing off.
Nebraska's on their 45-yard line now with a third down and 5 to go. And there's the War Eagles of Auburn University. And the time is ticking off, as you can see on our ABC scoreboard. Nebraska's been a ball control team all year. On in motion. Claridge keeps, and he's stopped on the 49-yard line. On the Nebraska 49, they'll have now a 4th down and a yard to go. 4th and a yard.
This is quite a bit different than 4th and 4 or 5 inches now. This is going to require a major decision, and I would suspect they will probably kick, but let's see. He's looking to the sidelines, possibly for a little advice from the coaching staff.
Well, he just put in Maynard Smith and brought Willie Ross out as they get the ball ready for play. Lyle Sittler's coming in at center, replacing Ron Mitchka, and Claridge is going in punt formation now. George Rose will be dropping back as a safety man, a single safety. He gets a high kick with a strong wind at his back. Rose called for a fair catch, and it bounds on in. Touchback. Auburn's ball, first down on the Auburn 20.
Rose pulling a very smart maneuver there, keeping the Nebraska players away from downing that ball before it goes into the end zone by faking a call for a fair catch.
Auburn takes over, first down. 7 minutes, 31 seconds left to play. Seidel still at quarterback. Seidel throws the pass to Don Lewis, and Lewis gets the first down at the Auburn 31-yard line as Bruce Smith, number 43, and Bob Hahn made the stop.
Seidel passes complete to Lewis.
In first downs now, Auburn has 12, Nebraska has 10. Auburn has picked up 9 first downs in the second half. Nebraska has 4 first downs in the second half. Seidel stopped just short of his 35-yard line. on his pet play, the sprint out, and trying to get outside.
You can credit that play right there to Bruce Smith, number 43 for Nebraska, because he went in the old-fashioned way and stripped the interference, which is what the first man in there is supposed to do. Then the men that follow up are to make the tackle.
2nd down, 8 to go for Auburn on the Auburn 34-yard line. That pass is complete and out of bounds on the Auburn 43 to Howard Simpson. Maynard Smith, number 22, drove him out of bounds. Now they'll look to that other sideline for a possible measurement. And the officials have asked for the yardsticks to be brought on. When Simpson went out of bounds, there are 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the game. University of Nebraska leading Auburn 13-7. And Auburn has another first down. Auburn on their 42-yard line with a first down. We've had 2 different games. Nebraska easily dominated the first half, and Auburn has held the upper edge of the statistics in the second half.
Looked like a rout the first 3 minutes for Nebraska there.
Here's the shotgun. Seidel looking to pass, incomplete. His receiver had his back to him, Bucky Wade. And Larry Tomlinson, number 83 of Nebraska, put a good rush on Seidel. Auburn now has a 2nd down and 10 to go. Auburn in possession on their 42-yard line. A close-up of Seidel, number 12, a junior from Birmingham, Alabama. Now they're lining up in their eye. Deflected by Monty Kiffin, who's played a superb defensive game for Nebraska, number 77, a second-string tackle who's been a standout today from Lexington, Nebraska.
Believe it or not, his knockdown of the ball there was a bad break for Nebraska because Maynard Smith had stepped inside of the receiver there. It was a softly thrown ball, and he had time to do this. And I feel pretty sure it would have resulted in an interception and possibly a long gain down that sideline for Nebraska.
Doc Griffith now has checked into the Auburn backfield. He's number 35. Auburn on their 42-yard line, 3rd and 10. Nebraska's ahead, 13-7. A little over 6 minutes to go in the game. Quick pass is complete to George Rose. Right halfback Rose takes the flip. On the Nebraska 46-yard line, first down for Auburn. Auburn now has a 34-yard sustained drive going. That's the Auburn cheering section. Auburn in their shifty eye. Rose in motion. Jimmy Seidel, 40. Seidel at the 35 and down to the 34. Oh, what long strides he takes. Tackle made by Dick Callahan. Callahan's been a great defensive player for Nebraska. And Auburn has another first down. Auburn has marched from the Auburn 20 to the Nebraska 33. The clock is against them right now. 4 minutes, 55 seconds left to play. Nebraska leading 13-7. That pass is good to Lewis. Lewis is dropped at the 30-yard line. Danny Lewis stopped by Joe McNulty, number 41. Only a gain of 3 for Auburn. It is 2nd down and 7 to go for Auburn, just short of the Nebraska 30.
According to Coach Bob Devaney, this is a typical Auburn attack. Seidel pecks you to death with those 3- and 4-yarders, and it's quite possible, though, that a man can break for a long gain. But he does hit that short one regularly.
2nd down, 7, Auburn on the Nebraska 30. Down goes Seidel this time. Couldn't find a man open. And there's that Monty Kiffin in there again with Larry Tomlinson, number 83. And Kiffin, the second-string tackle, smothered Seidel back on the 35-yard line in Nebraska. That's a 5-yard loss. And will bring up now 3rd down and 12 to go for Auburn. The clock shows 3 minutes, 45 seconds. These are the Nebraska cheerleaders. As Nebraska has a big delegation here from Lincoln, Nebraska. And now we're heading into the last 4 minutes of the game. And it's been a great game. Nebraska led 13-0 at the end of the first half. Auburn has struck back and has scored a touchdown in the second half and is now on the march. But they now have a big 3rd down play coming up. 3rd and 12 on the Nebraska 35. Seidel's pass is complete to George Rose. 1st down for Auburn. Auburn now on the Nebraska 17.
That had to be the biggest down of this half, because had they failed there, Nebraska almost surely would have taken over in very short order. But
Auburn right now is in a 63-yard sustained drive. They marched from their 20-yard line with 3 minutes, 5 seconds left to play. Here's Seidel on the rollout. And Seidel is stopped at the 18-yard line. John Kirby brought him down, number 68. And Joe McNulty, number 41. That was actually a loss of a yard for Auburn. They have a 2nd down now, 11 to go. Auburn, trailing 13-7, is on the Nebraska 18-yard line. In a long drive, Auburn marched earlier, 71 yards for a score in this half. He overthrows it and nearly intercepted. Dick Callahan, number 80, nearly grabbed it off, and he had it. That would have been the ball game, probably.
certainly would have stopped that rally right there. Notice that Seidel does not pass well on that drop back. He still continues to do very well when he rolls out, but he is not a particularly great drop back passer.
Mickey Sutton has come in for Don Lewis. Bad word to Jeter. Back in the game now for Nebraska. Earlier had been hurt. The sophomore end has played sensationally here today. 3rd down, 11 to go for Auburn on the Nebraska 18. Sutton in motion. Seidel with a flag down, throws it, and it is, nearly caught. George Rose, number 44, nearly caught that deflected pass. Penalty marker is down, though. And this may be a very important penalty. Let's go down and find out all about it.
Defensive. You got the right offside? Yes, no, there's the illegal motion. On the red, on the right. All right. Come here now. You go. You got the red? Red right here. And we got offsetting penalty. Okay.
Offsetting penalties, pass interference, and backfield in motion. Well, the play will go over again. 3rd down, 11 for Auburn on the Nebraska 18.
These are big clutch downs. Seidel continues to do it, but if Nebraska can make one stand on any of these 1st and 10 situations, or 3rd and 4th downs, it's the ball game.
Paul, there are only 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to play here in the 30th Orange Bowl game. Nebraska leading 13-7. And let's see what Seidel does with him now. He split that end out. George Rose on the 10-yard line. But they're still short of a 1st down. They have 4th down and 3 to go. Dick Callahan tackled George Rose, who's been a great pass receiver here in the 4th quarter.
And, of course, we don't need to tell you, this is the biggest down of the ball game right here with 4th and approximately 5 to go. That last play you've seen there to Rose has been almost unstoppable. However, Nebraska has narrowed it down so they hold him for about 5 yards a try.
All right, now Auburn has to get to the Nebraska 7-yard line for a 1st down. 4th down and 4. Incomplete, and Nebraska's held him. John Kirby rushed Seidel. Nebraska stopped a long Auburn drive. And that drive carried 69 yards, and there's a sad Auburn rooter.
Certainly found one thing. Nebraska, like the champions that they are, when the chips are down, they didn't lose their composure. They hung on, stopped this rally right here, and made a fine stand.
Well, Nebraska will try and kill it out now. Auburn, heavily outweighed, fought back in the second half, but as Paul said, Nebraska came through there with a chip down and with 1:30 to go in the game. They have taken over on their 11-yard line with a 1st down. And there's Dennis Claridge, who's been a standout offensively for Nebraska. He's playing his last game for the University of Nebraska today. He's going to be a dentist. Nebraska has an outstanding dental school. Timeout called by Auburn to stop the clock.
And I was going to mention, and you saw there Claridge running the quarterback sneak type play. You should see a minimum of ball handling plays now. He will probably handle the ball 2 or 3 times out of the 4 that he gets a chance to handle on this series. Because the less ball handling, the less chance of a fumble, of course.
Those Nebraska rooters hoping their team holds now with only 1:18 to go. And if Nebraska wins, Bob Devaney will have won his 19th game against just 3 losses in his 2-year term at the University of Nebraska. And they just tore up his contract again. Gave him a big insurance there, Shug Jordan, who also has been an outstanding coach over 13 years at Auburn. Bob Devaney just got a fat new contract and paid up the $100,000 life insurance policy. A sneak by Dennis Claridge to bring the ball out to the Nebraska 17. It'll be 3rd down now and 4 yards to go for Nebraska. Clock is moving. There's Jimmy Seidel, and we can certainly see, Paul, why he was named All-American the way he played in the second half here today.
I'll tell you, Auburn needn't be ashamed of their effort in this ball game today, Kurt. They made a real ball game out of it. As I mentioned, it looked like a rout for Nebraska the first couple of minutes. Once they regained their composure, they got back in this ball game. It was a real ball game all the way.
And out to the 24-yard line goes Willie Ross. That'll give Nebraska 1st down.
And Claridge pretty wise on that one because everybody was expecting him to keep the ball on a sneak-type play, and he handed off.
1st down for Nebraska, and all they have to do now is stall away the last 20 seconds. Shug Jordan looking on, the Auburn coach, but he really brought his team back in that second half. They only got across the 50-yard line once in the first half, but they dominated the second half. They put on 2 long marches, 1 for touchdown, and they were stopped with 2 minutes to go in the Nebraska 11. And there's the Orange Bowl 30th game, and it's been one of the best they've ever had here in Miami. As Nebraska, the Big 8 champs, have defeated Auburn 13-7. The Nebraska fans and their team, and of course the disheartened Auburn team, as Paul Christian said, a fighting ball club today with only 7 seniors on the team. And Nebraska, with one of its best freshman teams in years, will be back to defend the title. As the Goodyear blimp gives us the overall shot of the 73,000 fans who jammed into the Orange Bowl to watch this epic clash today between 2 teams who were really ready. Number 18. Signing an autograph. That's Woody Woodall, who kicked the extra point. He didn't get a chance to kick too many today. He has kicked 29 in a row for an all-time Auburn record. I think that's one of the pro scouts. Jimmy Seidel going out will have to wait another year if he's interested in pro football. He is just a junior.
But if you think there wasn't talent on these ball clubs, there are about 300 Pro Scouts in this town who have been hounding both of these teams for a whole week.
Paul, Nebraska alone had 11 players on his squad drafted by the American Football League and National Football League today.
Well, we mentioned of the 3 big names. Bob Brown, there he goes in there right there, number 64, the All-American. 2 of the other coaches considered 2 other players in that line of equal ability. This was a terrific line, and of course Auburn did a great thing, outweighed 25 pounds to the man, and made a great ball game out of it.
Well, I see Jim McKay has these 2 outstanding quarterbacks, Dennis Claridge of Nebraska, Jimmy Seidel of Auburn, and let's go down to Jim.
Here on the sidelines, we're surrounded by an awful lot of talent. The 2 great quarterbacks in this game today. The winning quarterback, Dennis Claridge of the University of Nebraska. Great game, Dennis.
Thank you very much.
Was there a turning point in this ball game? Was there something that made the difference to you?
Well, it's real hard to say. I thought we got maybe some bad breaks in the first half, but this Auburn team came on real strong in that second half, and we were just real lucky to win it.
Just hanging by the fingernails there at the end, wasn't
That's right, sir.
Okay, congratulations again, Dennis Claridge. And here's Jimmy Seidel, who played a sensational game for Auburn. You saw him here. A few Auburn supporters over there. Jim, congratulations. I know you're disappointed right now, but you covered yourself with glory this afternoon.
Well, thank you.
You were an entirely different ball club in the second half than you were in the first. What happened in the dressing room?
We just got together and talked it over and decided what we was doing wrong. And it looked like we just came down here to Miami to have a good time, not play football, which was the main purpose we came down here for. I think we sort of in the second half got together and really played a little bit better football.
You sure did. You showed them a lot here in the Orange Bowl. Congratulations to you, Jimmy. Okay, that's the story down on the field. Back to you, Kurt.
Thank you, Jim McKay. And again, the final score, the 30th Annual Orange Bowl Football Classic. Nebraska 13, Auburn 7. We want to thank our spotters today. Lyle Bremsler, who for many years has broadcast the Nebraska games and has done a great job there. Kessler Fabian spotted for Auburn, and our statistician was Bill Weingart. We'd like to thank head coach Ralph Jordan and his staff from Auburn, and Bob Devaney and his staff from Nebraska. We also appreciate the assistance of Ernie Seiler, the executive vice president of the Orange Bowl, and the entire Orange Bowl committee. The executive producer of the 30th Annual Orange Bowl Football Classic was Roone Arley. This telecast was produced by Chuck Howard and directed by Mac Hemian. Associate director, Ronald Hawkins. The technical director and supervising engineer, Joe DeBonis. Pickup was by WLBW Miami. The blimp was provided through the courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And now this is Kurt Gowdy, along with Paul Crispin and Jim McKay, wishing everyone a Happy New Year and saying so long from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida.